bad. I'm fired up for this one, though. I hope that we get another PvP for the history books when it comes to these two. We know they're capable of it. First up is the man who was once upon a time the greatest non-Korean StarCraft 2 player in the world. At this point, he's still very, very good. Representing Ting, it is Neeb.
And spawning over in the bottom left-hand side, also very good. Very good, in fact, representing Team Alpha X, it is Astrea. I guess it's also worth mentioning, like, Neeb, when he came to, because Neeb qualified to the season finals, this most recent one, and even though he didn't make it out of his group, he was one of the players that did help knock out Clem, and he pushed Hiramarine to the final, to the limit with the final map as well. So I know a lot of people are posting these memes about Clem losing to Protosses, but they keep leaving out Neeb's face. He's definitely one of the guys that's done it recently.
I love how you make it seem like it's a team effort to get out of Clem. It's like, wow, guys, he didn't go all the way, but he did help getting rid of that French kid. And I'm like, well, sounds a little bit mean when you put it like that, man. Like, we're not all teaming up trying to get rid of Clem. But you're right, Neeb definitely had a decent showing in the season finals. But we also know Neeb, we know that he always wants more. And I do believe that Neeb can peak again. Will he ever be as dominant as he was in 2017, I guess it was? Right? That was Neeb's glory year? I think it was.
Either 2017, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
2018 was Cyril's, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. 27, yeah, absolutely. Because 2019 was still a good year for Cyril, and then 2020 was a bit less, but 2018 was peak Cyril, which means 2017 was peak Neeb. I don't know if Neeb will ever be that dominant again. That seems a little bit unlikely because it's really hard to win 3 out of 4 big Premier League foreign events. But I do still believe that he's got one more epic run somewhere up his sleeve where I think he can be the top dog in the Protoss foreign scene. I have definitely not given up on Mr. Sunderhaft.
No, and the fact that, you know, you've got another Protoss kind of close behind him in Astrea, that can always be a bit of extra fire, I tend to find, when you have a countryman that's playing the same race as you that's also, like, pushing you a little bit, because I don't know, like, NA has always trailed a little bit behind Europe, but those top players, like Scarlet, Neeb, Astrea, they can absolutely tango with the best of them. But, yeah, I think a lot of the competition about striving forward and each other pushing each other forward, and I think Astrea is the extra little bit of fire that Neeb needed.
So far, they are mirroring each other, both going for the Stalker, Sentry, opening, expanding, and following it up with another Stalker and a Sentry. So we're going to see a lot of scouting. We're expecting Twilights and Forges to go down. If something else happens, we're going to try to figure out what the boys have off their sleeve. Now, of course, if some of these builds are being played optimal, then what you can do is just go +1, make a lot of probes, go up to 3 bases, even fire up +2, and then you get a robo. You can already hear that it takes a little while to get a robo if you play it like that. And if that's the case, you're very, very vulnerable to Dark Templars. I don't think we're going to see any super early Dark Shrines in this game, though.
This is some of the most mirrored PvP we've seen today, and we've seen a lot of PvP, given that we went through 2 full best-of-5s in the European region. But here, Forges start at the same time, Blink identical. Like, these are about as mirrored as you can get in a PvP.
Astrea is going to start off by chrono boosting Blink now. Something to keep an eye on. Maybe he does it again and again and then try to get creative. But it's very hard to be aggressive. He's obviously a little bit behind anyway because his Twilight was a split second later. So I think we're just going to go up to 3 bases, where I always kind of feel the first person to really make an aggressive move is in a disadvantageous, there we go, position. It has been a long day, man. You're right. But if you go extreme, like for instance Drogo did on Romanticide, well, that's when aggression can really pay off as well. So it's just fun to keep a close eye on the production tab and see where both players are heading.
Yeah, I mean, they're so mirrored, Kev. Like the third bases, the robos, definitely showing a lot of respect to one another, which is really, really cool to see, and rightly so. I mean, these guys, they're building up a history now, and they've duked out multiple times over the past year or 2 as well, and it's actually gotten a lot more back and forth than people would probably assume, although maybe at this point people are showing Astrea the kind of respect they deserve. But Blink's on the way, +1's on the way for both of them, getting the same amount of gateways. The third base is slightly different. This is one change. Astrea with the proxy gateway in the top left, or rather proxy pylon.
Yeah. I don't think you really want to get a Dark Shrine there, though, because Dark Shrines are important for a long time. You don't just want to go for the surprise 6-minute Dark Shrine. Yeah, sure, maybe what could work. Well, that's what he's going to do. The downside of building it there, though, is that there is a chance that, yeah, your DTs do a little bit of damage, but then it gets found, and then you lose it, and then you need to rebuild the Dark Shrine again. Because if we stabilize on 4+ bases, I don't want to say it's a must to have a Dark Shrine, but it's pretty much a must at this point with, you know, how good everyone plays and how DTs are more likely to find damage than Zealots offensively. And of course, defensive Dark Templars are also very powerful.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a vulnerable spot if it gets down to it or gets spotted at any point. But we'll see what happens this game, because both of them, they do have an observer out. They've both been very good about their scouting. Oh, it's going to get... Like, this is the build-up. This is like the calm before the storm here. Neither one of them is going out to do a move. And as you said, like, normally it can be the first person to do a move out, can kind of get caught off guard. But Neeb, I love how he's positioning his Stalkers kind of ready for in case something does happen, like at his main base or his natural.
This is actually very nice, man. This one Stalker of Astrea is pulling a couple of forces out of position. Now, most of Neeb's army is heading towards the left side. And that actually means that Neeb's natural is wide open. Neeb is going to lose a couple of Stalkers before this party even begins. And that Dark Shrine is done. Are we warping in DTs? We are warping in a single DT on the left side and a single DT on the right side with the War Prism. So far, so good for Astrea. And Neeb only has a single observer, man.
Yeah, this is going to get super problematic.
He kills it. That is 0 observers on the map now.
Oh, so what does Neeb do from here? Like, do you think he recognizes how big that observer snipe was? He goes for a big warping on the main base, but the DT is revealed now.
Mate, okay, this is already going to deal a tremendous amount of damage, but imagine a world where all Dark Templars would have gone for the Robo. Maybe Sentries could have forced with it, but this is an absolutely phenomenal start by Astrea. I was kind of questioning the hidden DT Shrine 6 minutes into the game. It has already paid for itself 10 times over, and Neeb just thinks he's so far behind that he is going to tap out. I don't hate it. It's a little early because army supply's dead even, but I can also understand that Neeb just feels, what am I going to do? We're making the same units, but you're going to have 20 probes more than me.
Also, I just want to mention that Astrea, that was a perfect game. 0 resources lost against 1,625 of Neeb. Yeah, didn't lose a single unit that game. Yeah, actually a perfect game by him. So everything went perfect. Like, so Astrea, like, caught Neeb with his pants down, man. And that blink out by Neeb as well. Like, he had no idea what was going on, but the 1-2 punch from Astrea, what a way to start off the series for him. And oh, man.
Of course, if Neeb sticks around and Neeb just blinks forward, he could kill a unit and stuff, guys. Don't get us wrong. It's not like he was never going to kill a unit. Obviously, if he really wanted to drag this one out, he would have. But that's pretty insane, man. Astrea just won a 7-minute and 52-second game while losing 0 units. I was like, that can't be right. I take a look at units lost, 0 versus 26 or whatever it was. Damn, that's I don't want to say that's the first, but I can definitely tell you, Ben, that I have never in my life casted a Neeb game where Neeb lost in 8 minutes and did not kill a single unit.
It doesn't happen. Like, I was looking at it too, and I was like, man, all these trades went really bad for Neeb. And I mean, they really they pile up a little bit, but yeah, it went terribly bad. Second map between these two will be Oxide here. It appears that we're just giving Astrea a moment to get some water. You know, this is one of those moments where I can imagine Neeb, he's like, damn, I really want to play the next game, make sure to, like, remove all those errors that I had. And it wasn't like he had that many errors, it was just Astrea with that planning and that decision making. Like, it's a bad move, but you don't know it's a bad move yet, you know, like that blink out and stuff. And just very unfortunate for Neeb, honestly.
Yeah, not just that blink out, but it did really feel that Astrea, if he was playing a basketball game there, he just threw himself an assist and the slam dunk, right? Because he has the little assist on the left side, pulling units out of position, and then obviously pouncing on that little army on the right side, getting a good trade. Then he's got that one Dark Templar sneaking into the third. And I was like, where did that other one go? Because I saw he walked one in with the Prism, picked it up in the Prism, unloaded it into the main base, and then he gets the Observer Snipe. Yeah, that is truly absolutely perfect. That's how you have it in mind, but that's never how it really goes. Besides today, apparently. That's how it went for Astrea.
I mean, that was absolutely perfect. And I like what you were saying about Stalker. Like, that really baited a lot of Neeb's attention. Anyhow, spawning over the bottom left, currently 1-0 up. It is Astrea.
In the top right side of Oxide, we're looking at the main base of the only player that has won 2 DreamHack Masters NA championships so far. It is Neeb.
I love the Neeb chants, by the way. They're some of my favorite chants, just because I can't really tell if they're booing or what, but like the low pitch, it's just beautiful. Oh, look at Astrea. Oh, okay. I was like, is he going for a real fast Nexus here? Because he wasn't making a probe, but he also wasn't making a. He's still not making a gas.
No, like he is going to try to get that Nexus down right before the probe is up. This is going to get real close, guys. 340, 350, 360. He's hiding the probe. If Neeb keeps the probe on the low ground, it's really bad for Astrea, but Neeb goes into the main. And that means Astrea gets a ridiculously early Nexus. Neeb could steal a gas, but yeah, sometimes you make it a bit awkward if you do that kind of stuff. So Neeb is not going to do it. What will Neeb do? He is going to drop the Cyber Core before anything else, and he's keeping his second probe at home, so I guess he just wants to expand. But he's also on double gas already, Neeb, that is.
Yeah, these kind of games are interesting to me because I'm looking at this, Kev, and I'm like, okay, the Nexus is up real damn fast for Astrea. Cyber Cores, there's not much in that. Obviously, Neeb is banking up a bit of gas here and a bit of minerals as well, hopefully going to get down his Nexus, which he does without a problem. But yeah, so far you got to look at this and be like, it's better for Astrea in every way, right?
It's a lot better for Astrea. I'll be honest, the only thing that Neeb is going to get is his tech down a bit quicker. Neeb goes for the Stargate, but if Astrea just gets a quick scout on that, which he will, I almost wonder if Neeb is going to pull a Zest. And that is start off with a Void Ray and just rally a Void Ray to the other side of the map. I feel like that build should never work, but I always say that, and it works very often. So what the hell do I know, Ben? But anything else, like if we're just not going to do anything, it's really good for Astrea. This little lead that he currently is sitting on is going to turn into a massive, is maybe slightly exaggerated, but into a large lead 2 or 3 minutes down from now.
The more I'm looking at this, though, Kev, the more I'm like, okay, so what's going to be his response? Oh, he's going up to 3 gateways, so not going for a super tech. He has a Zealot in the base of Neeb.
Yeah, that's bad. Neeb doesn't have a battery. Neeb could fight this with probes, but it's still going to be annoying. Neeb Stalker not quite out yet. I love that positioning of the Zealot right between the gas. There is an Adept about to show up as well. This Adept really has some potential. Neeb is going to lose a couple workers here, man. The question is just how many. At this point, it's 2. I don't even really know why Astrea didn't want to shade in there, because a lot of these probes were 1 hit away from dying, even for the Adept.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Maybe he felt that he didn't need to be super greedy, given that he already feels that he might be ahead economically, but...
He's all-inning, by the way. Astrea's all-inning, like, in a pretty insane manner. Because he is going up to 4 gateways, 3 gateways at home, and there's a proxy pylon. The door is still open. Neeb has no idea what's happening. He is about to find out, though, when the Oracle flies into the main base. But is it going to be too late, then? There is a shield battery in the natural. Shield batteries are really good. Astrea is going to have a lot of...
Oh, great reaction from Astrea there. You have to be very quick. So he saw that red dot on the minimap and reacted appropriately. And Neeb...
No warp gate for Neeb. Like, Neeb doesn't
terrible.
have... Nowhere, warp gate is nowhere near done. He might get a full wall off. He cancels. Yeah, that's exactly what he does. But even then, it's going to be hard. I wonder what you should target here. Okay, Neeb is going to fire up the Void Ray. He definitely knows. The question is, can he hold?
Can he hold indeed? I mean, the shield battery, it's got its work cut out. And does he even have enough energy? Okay, he does have enough energy for that shield battery overcharge. That buys him quite a bit of time. Means less energy on chrono boost and stuff for that Void Ray. But the Oracle back on the other side of the map is trying to do something. But Astrea's more than prepared.
I stand a little bit corrected. I really thought that Astrea was all-inning, but then at the same time, he's still just building probes, despite the fact that he opens up with 3 gateways, not 4, of course. Now Neeb is reading this. He's like, you're not all-inning. Neeb definitely thought he was getting all-in. That's why he got a second battery. That's why he got a Void Ray too. And now Neeb is stuck with what feels like a very, very clumsy Void Ray. Astrea is playing a pretty genius game here, man.
I mean, like the PvP, it really hasn't been figured out, right? Like these guys are always coming up with new stuff and ways to kind of deal with things. And despite Astrea going for that earlier Nexus, didn't really slow him down much. And viewing at that Dark Shrine, Kev.
Yep. I do not hate it from Neeb, but I also think that Astrea should realize that he's pretty far ahead at this point, and obviously he does realize that. And then whenever you are far ahead, you have to ask yourself the question, if I'm going to lose this game in the near future, to what am I going to lose? Well, Dark Templars is a possibility. Astrea will just look at this like, man, my third Nexus is going to be so much quicker. Even my blink is going to be quicker than your blink, because you overreacted a little bit to my Stalker pressure. So yeah, then you get a Robo, you get ready for DTs, potentially, and you just take the game from there. Astrea's looking really good so far.
Yeah, he definitely is. Like, make no mistake about it. Probe-wise, he's better. Tech-wise, better as well. I know he doesn't have the Stargate, but...
Oracle!
This poor Oracle. Goes from bad to worse for Neeb, and he just kind of saw it all over his face there. But I'm also kind of wondering, why didn't Neeb go for the wall-off, like the full wall-off? Do you think he just felt like it wasn't something that you could afford to do early on?
I don't think you don't really expect aggression when your opponent is the one who expands before you, right? Isn't Neeb supposed to be the one to attack Astrea? Because Astrea had the quicker Nexus. This is something that MaxPax actually gets away with very often too. Astrea doesn't quite get the Void Ray there, but I honestly feel that Neeb is almost mentally tapped out of this game, man. I feel like he's almost done with it. Astrea's getting on top of these Stalkers, gets the kill, can definitely kill that one Stalker that just got warped in. Now Neeb is even forced to reveal his Dark Shrine. That's not really the way you want to reveal your Dark Shrine. There is one observer out. It is a little bit out of position, so one DT of Neeb is going to find some economic damage. But I think Alex needs a little more than 3 probes.
I think he needs a lot more than just 3 probes, and 4 probes for a DT, not what you wanted. The second DT is spotted by Astrea as well, that even went for a wall off at the natural. So nice play by Astrea, just respecting the DTs and pulling all the appropriate measures.
Yep, and look at the amount of gateways that are finishing up in the main base of Astrea. At this point, he's already on 4, but he's got 4 more finishing up, so he's about to warp in 8 Zealots and Stalkers at a time. You compare that to the 4 gateways that Neeb has. Well, Neeb does actually have 2 extra gates finishing up, but still 8 against 6. Definitely going to be in favor of Max Angel, who doesn't have an economic lead anymore, but he does trap this second Dark Templar. So that turns into 2 Dark Templars for 3 probes. That's actually just another victory for Astrea.
4 probes, Kevin, but we all make mistakes, you know. Like, at least you didn't say something a little too outrageous there, but I've got you back. Don't worry, mate.
Wait, what? Was it 4 probes?
It was 4 probes, mate. 4 probes.
I was like, I didn't even hear what you were on about. As Astrea blinks into the main base, is going to unpower 1 gateway, is going to unpower the Twilight Council.
Oh.
He's going to unpower all the gateways. Artosis is crying somewhere in Korea. And there are Stalkers on the left too, mate. Astrea's putting on a masterclass here. He is outmaneuvering Neeb left, right, and center. Neeb doesn't even know where to look. Astrea's getting little victories everywhere. There's even an attack in the back of the natural. That one is not getting much done. But what a performance so far by Max Angel.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just constant pressure. Denies the warping as well. The money's getting high for both of them, but Astrea can afford to get away with this. And look, he's just piling on pressure everywhere. Look at that warping of Stalkers. GG.
Wow. Sick game by Astrea. Holy smokes. Did Max Angel show up to dance today? I thought it was going to be close, competitive. You never really know which way it's going to go between these two. That first game is like, okay, you won without losing a unit. That's really sick. This second game, it felt everything Astrea had in mind. It worked out perfectly. And you can always... Neeb was just flustered from the very beginning. It's like,
yeah,
Zealot? That's random. Zealot and Adept, that's annoying. Oh my god, you're all-inning me. Full wall off. Second battery. Void Ray. You don't want to make a Void Ray in that phase in the game unless you really, really, really need it. He didn't need it because Astrea was transitioning. PvP is already confusing, and when people play it like this, it gets next level confusing, but standing ovation, well, a sitting ovation for Astrea so far, because that was really good.
I'm almost thinking that this, like the momentum that he has and the way that he's playing these games, like it shows ultra prep. Like everything's just working out amazingly, and Neeb isn't playing bad. Neeb isn't a bad player. This is just the way that Astrea's doing this, it's just streamlined, it's cool, it's calculated. Everything looks very thought out. It's very well executed as well. Like Astrea just right now, it looks like they're different levels, which is so weird to say. And it's not because they're playing bad. Like Astrea's playing so damn good right now. Like the amount of prep that he did to do this to Neeb, yeah, it's kind of unheard of, honestly.
If this was a best of 3 and this would have been it, I think this would have been the best moment ever for Astrea to tweet the meme. I think it's the A-team, right? Where it's like, I love it when a plan comes together. Because so far it felt that his entire plan of those 2 games came together. This has been incredibly impressive. There's no other way to put it. Stunning.
He's playing unbelievably well, and the thing is, like that game as well, I felt that the one gate expand stuff is kind of Neeb's playground a little bit, or at least that's what I felt the last time they played. Now granted, there's been quite some time since then, but man, Astrea came and has come to this series all guns blazing, and you know, it's kind of rough when you're in the group and you lost to Scarlet, and then it's like, okay, I've got Neeb first round in the winner bracket, but yeah, he's playing so damn good. Anyhow, spawning over in the bottom left-hand side of Jagannatha, as our red Protoss currently 0-2 down, it is Neeb.
And this man, all of his plans are coming together so far. Can he close it out and make this a very memorable best of 5? Not because it was close, but just because it was so damn dominant. He goes by Max Angel. We call him Astrea.
It's always funny when your real name is actually
cooler than your nickname.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't even think Astrea's an uncool nickname. It's just Max Angel's a very cool name.
I know. That should have been his game attack. Should have been the other way around. He should have been Astrea in real life, and Max Angel in game would be like, oh man, you did good
like,
when you picked the nickname.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Like your name is Max Angel, like your nickname, and then it's like people would play you. They're like, hey, cool nickname, man. It's like, yeah, and it's my real name. It's like, oh, that's so cool.
Or if he was actually Max Angel in game, then Smix could introduce him at a Katowice as Max Angel. That's pretty cool too.
Like its own echo kind of thing. Max Angel.
All right, we do this every season, guys. But yeah, what can we say? He just got a very cool name, and he's playing some phenomenal StarCraft so far. Stargate or Roboban, pick your poison right now.
I'm guessing Stargate this game. Boom.
Yes. You guessed correctly. Astrea's also going to switch things up, and both of them actually going for Adepts first here. So it's Adepts versus Adepts and a proxy Stargate on the side of Astrea. Neeb has scouted and has obviously seen there is only a single pylon in the main base. Neeb turns around because sometimes people reveal their stuff a little too soon. Solid scouting on the right side, but will that probe actually see it? I guess barely, yes?
Yeah, if it stays on that trajectory, it will see it just about. I mean, it's obviously close, but nice scouting by Neeb, it's got to be said. Even though he's 0-2 down, he's still sticking to the basics, and that's one of the beautiful things about StarCraft. Every game is a new, clean slate.
You know what the nicest thing here is for Neeb is that he knows, but Astrea doesn't know that he knows.
That is true. That is true. I didn't reveal it either, like because that building has less vision when it's actually getting warped in than when it's finished.
So Neeb could go for a Phoenix here. I really wouldn't hate a Phoenix. Started an Oracle, canceled the Oracle, went for a Phoenix. I think it makes sense. I know earlier today I said sometimes Oracle can be good against Phoenix. I will stand by that. But if you know there is an Oracle flying your way and your opponent doesn't know that you know, I feel like that is a good opportunity for Phoenixes to shine and just fly straight into that Oracle.
I was about to say, is he actually going to finish that shield battery, but does get out of there? Keeps both of them alive, actually, but keeping... So Astrea's Oracle gets across the map. 2 probes did fall, not from the Oracle.
There is no way that Neeb didn't see that Oracle. Like, I didn't check his vision, but that Oracle was in the main base, in range of that Stargate. It also flew past the probe that was warping the Nexus, as Neeb does have 2 Adepts in the main of Astrea. At least Neeb is getting a better start here. But I think if Neeb was a little sharper, he could have at least put his Phoenix on top of that Oracle immediately. It would have probably just been recalled, so maybe it's not the biggest of deals, but yeah.
And if you're the Phoenix player here, which I know is a position that you're familiar with, after denying this Stargate, yeah, you, Kevin, even your logo for your team is a Phoenix. But do you carry on with the Phoenix here, or what do you think is the choice?
That's not even a choice for me, man. I always carry on with the Phoenix. Now, if the question is it the right thing to do to keep building Phoenixes here? The answer is probably no. I don't hate one more. Like 3 Phoenixes is a nice number. You don't want to have only 2 Phoenix because then you can't kill probes near a battery. When you have 3 Phoenixes, you can always kill probes with a battery. Look at Max Angel, by the way, double expanding, realizing that this early game didn't go quite well. The Oracle, though, sweeps into the natural. How? This is why Oracles are good against Phoenix. It doesn't make any sense, but they always find damage.
I mean, they do. I mean, Neeb is doing the good thing here, splitting up these Phoenix. Oh my goodness, is that... All right, this Oracle. Oh, he's cornered. Will get spotted. But that Oracle still did more than I ever thought it would this game.
Yep, it forced out a battery in the main base, and then it got 4 probes, and it forced out 3 Phoenix. Neeb is going for an early Dark Shrine this game. So, yeah, they don't... I don't want to say they don't come much quicker than that, because obviously they do, because it was Stargate first. But, Neeb needs to be careful with his Phoenix. He is going to lose 1, and that's a really big deal once more. Because now Neeb can't harass properly if there is ever a battery. And on top of that, it takes a lot longer for 2 Phoenixes to kill a probe than it takes for 3 Phoenixes to kill 1 probe. So even if this harass might still grant Neeb a couple of workers, this would go a whole lot quicker and be a whole lot more devastating with that extra Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Could even get a few more probes or anything like that. So Astrea does have his 3rd Nexus already done, by the way, whereas Neeb's hasn't even started. So that was definitely greedy by Astrea. Maybe he thought the early game wasn't the best for him and took a bit of a leapfrog there.
Yeah, all of that is definitely nice and stuff, but Astrea still has 0 detection. It's not like he could still have an Oracle. No, he lost the Oracle. This target is unpowered. He has no Robo. He has no Forge. Ben, if Astrea doesn't drop a Robo right about now, he is in danger of dying. And I'm actually afraid that he's in danger of dying anyway, because the first Dark Templar is being warped in, the 2nd Dark Templar is being warped in, and Astrea has 0 detection. Noppes, nada. I don't see how he ever wins this. I think he might just leave the moment he sees Dark Templars show up in his mineral line. He's going to tap out.
Yeah, and he's still just making gateways, Kev. Like, these DTs, they're going to go in, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does just tap out immediately.
This is a snap leaf.
Yeah. Boom. Right away. Rightly so.
Snap leaf. Snap exit. That's an F10N if I've ever seen one. For the people who are maybe not super familiar with StarCraft 2, why doesn't he try? It's just not going to work. Neeb can keep warping in Dark Templars. He has no access to Dark detection for probably a minute. The only way he ever gets detection is if he proxies a Robo somewhere in a corner. And by the time he gets that Robo up and running, he loses 45 workers and he loses the game 2 minutes later. Like, if you are that unprepared, you may as well just leave.
Yeah, it'd be like the little kid. Like, it'd be the slowest, most painful death ever. Like, just dying, losing probes left, right, and center. But guys and girls, we're going to get to a short break and we'll find out who wins between Astrea and Neeb.
Welcome back to the DreamHack Masters NA playoff for the fall season, where we are in the middle or getting perhaps closer towards the end of Neeb versus Astrea, which is our opening best of 5. When it comes to the NA department tonight, we have another ZVZ ahead of us as well between Scarlet and Nemsha. That's going to be fun. What's also fun is game 4 on Blackburn, and I'm ready, and Benjamin Baker is ready too.
Yes, certainly am. I mean, my predictions can't come true anymore. Can't come true at all, given that Neeb is currently 1-2 down. Anyhow, this man over in the bottom right side of Blackburn has been playing remarkably well so far. Playing for Team Alpha X, it is Astrea.
And in the bottom left side of Blackburn, we're looking in the main base of the man who just got his first point on the board. On the back of those invisible men with swords. Can he tie things up? It is Neeb.
Astrea's cheeky, man. You're seeing the production tab, right? Like, he's going for a Nexus first. Yeah. I mean, it's cool, right?
Yep. You know, it's really funny. The other day, I was playing some ladder. And I was like, okay, I'm going to PvZ. And then suddenly, while I'm going for my Nexus first build, I'm like, oh my god, I'm playing PvP. I'm like, well, let's just go with it. You know, like, it's actually a thing on Oxide and Blackburn, so I may as well. And then my opponent started forgetting me, and I was like, man, I've never, like, played this, so I have no idea how to deal with this. It's going to be, like, impossible. And it was surprisingly easy, actually. Well, you just make a Zealot, you can make another Zealot, you can make an Adept, you make some batteries, you Chrono Boost out a Void Ray, and you hold. I'm like, damn, that's actually shocking. Now, of course, my opponent was not of the caliber of Neeb, but it is actually insane how strong the greedy economic openings are. And it seems like Neeb agrees with that, and Neeb doesn't want to put all his eggs in one basket. And he's like, you know what? You get Nexus first, mate. I'll just go for a 1-gate, very fast Nexus behind it. I know I'm a bit behind now, but I'd rather do this than throw away the game with a silly 3-gate or 4-gate. That's not going to work.
No, absolutely. And just speaking of Void Rays on your stream, I think I tuned in that day and you played like 2 or 3 games doing Void Ray stuff and you were like, man, it is easy. It works. And I was like, frickin' Kevin, I've been telling you this for years, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I like my Phoenixes, and I am way better. Like, it's obviously a personal thing, right? I'm never gonna say that, like, oh, on the highest level everyone should play Phoenix. No, it's personal preference, and everyone plays StarCraft to their own strengths. And I know that I'm a better Phoenix player than Void Rays, but I was actually shocked by how easy it was to defend builds that I actually thought would be very hard to defend against players that would sometimes beat me when I play Phoenix. I'm like, damn, Void Ray builds are good. Here's Luis.
Anyhow, this game is moving on to kind of the after opening stages where Neeb is opting for the Stargate, whereas Astrea, wow, there's a lot of chrono boost out on a Stalkers very, very quickly.
He might just forget, man. He's gonna. Yeah, because look at the gas mining of Astrea in the main base. 2 probes on the top gas, 2 probes on the bottom. He is going to get a shield battery. It could also just be. Ooh. Why did he reveal that probe? I don't know if he actually did or not, but well, maybe he just felt that he needed those chronos, but no, I have the feeling he wants to be aggressive. Neeb does have a battery. Battery is very important here. If there was no battery, he'd be in a bit of trouble. Astrea now receives the bad news that Neeb took actually a lot of real damage there. A bit unnecessary.
Just a smidge. I mean, that means that Stalker can get one shot by quite a few less Stalkers. Wow, okay. So you're right about it being aggression. I'm not sure. Well, it's going to be a lot of aggressive shield batteries, right? It's got to be.
Yep. Nice catch there for this Oracle. Finds 1 probe immediately. Actually, the probes in the bottom side of the mineral patch are not going to be protected. Oracle in the main base is going to do its best. There is a way sometimes to kill a probe, and you can see that Neeb does kill a probe, but he's about to run out of energy. So I want to say that's all he gets, but it's not, because the shield battery actually ran out of juice. Damn, not bad. Neeb has a wall up. I mean, defensively, Neeb looks really good here. I gotta say, this doesn't look like Astrea's finest build. He's got a lot of units here, but this is not very well hidden. And I have a hard time believing that this is gonna work.
Me too. I mean, Neeb is respecting this, and this wall-off helps him so damn much. But, oh, Kevin, oh, the battery overcharge to keep that pile alive, that was a big, big deal.
I'd love sentries now of Neeb. I actually think 1 or 2 sentries would be super good here. Because then when they show up, you can just trap these stalkers. They can't run away anymore. You know you won't have battery overcharge for a while, Alex. Oh, this is awkward though for Astrea. He is going to drop a Twilight. Astrea is really good in building probes when you don't expect him to build probes. And you think he's super all in, but then apparently he's not. But Neeb is definitely in a much better spot than he was on Oxide. And this Oracle may get a little more damage.
Forces in a defensive warp in at the very least. Neeb does have quite a bit of money. Oh, stasis wall goes down, but Astrea quick to react and perfectly handled.
Same scenario as last game though. There is a Dark Shrine, 35% done. Astrea has absolutely zero detection. The Stalkers actually go forward and they do pick off a pylon. They want to get a Void Ray. Oh my god, how did it live? Okay, he's gonna get it anyway. So the Void Ray does go down, but Astrea still has no detection.
Mate, this can't happen 2 games in a row, can it? I mean, he is going for the cybernetic score here. Might lose a couple of Stalkers getting it. In fact, 2 Stalkers go down.
That actually means that there's not going to be any sentries either. This is a bit risky, but Neeb, his Dark Shrine is about to finish up. Astrea walks up this high ground, even though he's got no high ground vision, does get the kill on a couple of them. Does Astrea have Blink? No, Astrea has a Twilight, but he hasn't done anything with his Twilight. Astrea needs detection right now, as Neeb is already wiping in DTs and he's wiping them on the low ground. That's kind of cool.
I love that because I was like, what about this blur that's going to walk past this army? But this avoids that entirely. So I love that by him. And there's still, Kevin, no sign of a Robo, no Forge, the stasis. And I love the distractions by Neeb as well. Like he's causing him so many problems.
There is a Robo going down now, but that Robo is being powered by a single pylon. There is, of course, a battery that could use battery overcharge. This is really going to hurt, but
kill the Robo,
kill the Robo, no? Like the last game? I don't know if it's going to be the end, but it's definitely going to be very good for Neeb.
I'm a little surprised he didn't go for the Robo right there and then, but maybe he thought, there might be a Forge somewhere, but honestly, the damage is getting done here. This is super bad for Astrea.
Astrea can heal up the pylon with battery overcharge as well. Yeah, even if the Dark Templars won't straight up win the game, this is a ridiculous amount of damage. What Astrea can do is building workers non-stop. He does zone out 1 DT from making it into the main base, but there's still one other Dark Templar that's just going ham. I don't know if Astrea is aware of that one Dark Templar that's slicing up ropes in his main. 10 kills on that bad boy, 8 kills on the one in the natural. Yeah, that hurts.
That hurts so bad.
Oh, the Oracle.
And, oh my goodness, that might be the nail in the coffin right there. Like it wasn't already. The fact that Astrea is holding on here, or rather staying in the game, like credit to him because I'd have rage quit quite some time ago.
He's looking for that 1 DT. He missed it. He checked 3 corners of his main. He missed the 1 corner where it was hiding. Now he's gonna leave. Now he's so pissed. He's like, you know what? I'm freaking done.
Gets us around though. You know, these Stalkers that had avenged their fallen 24 pro brothers, but oh my goodness, that amount of damage. And yeah, Neeb's looking sharp this game, man. I think all his responses to what Astrea were doing was really good too. Like the wall off at the natural, he respected everything. Just from the first 2 games where Neeb was getting outclassed, he's absolutely bounced back into this series in super good fashion.
In Dark Templar fashion, to be fair. Like,
yes.
It is just a really good call. Neeb is like, all right, you can't do all of this, but then also just be ready for everything that I could potentially throw at you. Astrea is going to try to create a little bit of chaos. He's got 21 Stalkers. A lot of them make it into the main base. Definitely not all of them. This is a bit annoying. Neeb is splitting off a couple of units where he's going to try to fight the gold base. This is a really good attack, but how is Astrea going to get all these units home? And will Astrea be able to keep his gold base alive? The answer is probably no, because he only had a single pylon there. It's a decent attempt, Ben, but this is just not good enough for Astrea. He needed a whole lot more, and I think this is going to do it for Game 4.
That feeling when you recall into an army that's bigger than yours, and also this army is bigger than yours. There is just way more Neeb than Astrea at this point, and I think Astrea is starting to settle in here. And these pros try and run away, but GG. Wow, we're going to another 5 mapper with these bad boys.
From a 2-0 masterclass to Astrea to 2 quick victories off the back of a couple of Dark Templars. But, you know, when you come up with builds, in PvP. There are so many different routes you can take. But all of them, they do have an asterisk, and that is like, is it good against Dark Templars? And if the answer is no, you need to be thinking of DTs all the time. In the moment that you think your opponent could potentially have them, you need to get ready for them. Neeb whopping them in on the low ground through that slow zone, that is indeed really smart, man. Because if he indeed walks him just outside, down his ramp, because Neeb had no pylon on the other side of the map and no Warp Prism, then it would have actually been very doable for Astrea to just get ready for it. Sure, he would be forced to retreat home, but he's got the gold, he can just wall off, he is not losing those 18 probes, and it's perfectly fine for him. So really smart warp in by Neeb, and that absolutely gave him the victory.
Yeah, so the final map of this series will be Lightshade, so no more of these one gate expand shenanigans, which we've seen definitely mixed approaches from both of them. Like, nothing's been super sound and solid, right? Like Astrea, always kind of going for the, I don't want to call it the gimmicky approach, because it's not necessarily, but the first time was like the gateway with the delayed gas. Then this time was the Nexus first. He definitely is playing the build order game here against Neeb, but I'm very interested to see what comes out on Lightshade. I dare say they're both going to go back to the roots with the double gateway on the high ground.
Yeah, we did see them open up with a depth on Jagannatha, and for some reason that is a slightly better depth map than Lightshade, but it's not unheard of to open up with a depth on this one either. So let's see what the rubber match will bring between these two. In the bottom right side, the man who was down 0-2 but has tied things up, still representing Ting Mobile after all these years. It is Neeb.
And spawning over in the top left-hand side as the blue Protoss, it is Astrea. This is how I wanted this series to go, even though we all know that it could be, you know, depending on the day, a 3-0 either way. These guys going to the 5th map, like, this feels as it should be between them, because they both are very, very skilled.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit bad for Astrea, in my opinion, because, like, obviously you can say Astrea just won game 1 off the back of Dark Templars 2, but I think that was very different because it was a lot later into the game, and that is a moment where Neeb did have detection out, right? When Neeb won, Astrea literally had no detection. When Astrea won, there was detection. He just A, avoided it, and B, he sniped it. So I think, you know, a victory like that shines a little more to me than, yeah, one player just not being ready for it. And especially that second game was absolutely beautiful by Astrea. Yeah, it doesn't really matter how you win, right? Wasn't it Vin Diesel said, doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. It's all about family, Ben.
It's all about family, man. It's all about family. But I don't know where I was going with that. But
yeah, that's not how Vin Diesel sounds. It's all about family. No, that's not.
That's how Vin Diesel sounds?
Well, he definitely didn't sound as happy as how you did. It's all about family. Maybe that's pretty close.
Whenever I think of Vin Diesel, dude, I just think of him as Riddick. I don't know why. I don't think of the Fast and Furious movies.
What?
Riddick? You don't know Riddick?
No.
Oh my... Okay, we need to fix that, Kevin. That's... You know, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, that's up there. Riddick is also pretty damn up there.
Maybe I've seen one of them. But
when he has the goggles.
Yeah, I mean, that's what just showed up in Google. I don't know, man.
You Googled it?
Yeah.
Like, what is this crazy stuff that Benny's talking about?
All right, but let's see what happens here in Game 5, because this is obviously a big match. Winner of this series will move on to the upper bracket final. And now when it comes to the season finals, it's not top 4 that qualifies, it is top 2 in America. So it often is Neeb, Scarlet, or Astrea. One of them is going to fall short. The other two will represent NA at the season finals. For Europe, of course, it is top 4.
Definitely. I mean, if it was like the old school way, where it was like Scarlet and Neeb just ruled the roost, that'd be cool for those. Because, you know, honestly, there was the only other competition at the time was Massa, who could definitely take some cheeky wins here and there, especially with the proxy rack shenanigans. But these days, yeah, they're all pushing each other to get as good as they can. Scarlet definitely in the, I'd say, more pleasant side of the bracket, going up against Namshar, who has been a little bit rocky, but we'll get onto that later. How do you feel about these openings thus far?
Seems like Astrea has a slightly quicker Twilight. I'm sure that he's going to rush a Robo this game. Or at least like he won't go up to 3 bases, Twilight Forge, and get +2 before a Robo. That would be insane. He is gonna get the Forge now. Of course, you can't suddenly throw your entire build overboard. I don't know. I think it's quite similar, isn't it? Astrea has a few more probes. Actually, just does feel like his build is just a little bit better. What's the advantage that Neeb has? He has 2 more Stalkers earlier?
Yeah, 2 more Stalkers. He was definitely like the way that Neeb was going about it. Like his 4th unit was delayed by a little bit supply block. Astrea was definitely a bit greedy with the chrono boosting on the probes earlier on as a result. And so far, yeah, Astrea just with a slight lead here. Both going to get the scouting information off. 3 sentries seems to be the number to go for to have constant hallucinations on your opponent, just to make sure that you're not caught off guard.
It's obviously very powerful defensively too, in case your opponent does something wild. You can force field units in. And the 3 sentries often gears up for that really random move out, where it's just blink stalkers and sentries, but there is no pylon, no warp in, no proxy gateway. But yeah, and some of the good players, we saw Skillers earlier today as well. They find some good value with that move out, but if both players do the exact same thing, I kind of feel like that move out doesn't make sense. And I was gonna bet everything that Astrea was gonna build a Robo before Neeb this game. And it's safe to say that would have been a 1 bet. You're looking at a traumatized man there, Ben.
A very traumatized man. You know, losing to DTs not once but twice, that always makes me feel... So Astrea obviously isn't done. But you can feel like, you got me once with that, that's all right. But you got me twice in a row with that? Jeez Louise, it can just be a bit brutal.
Ooh, I love this, man.
This. Yeah, yep. I love this.
The 4-Stalker hit squad, baby. It kind of fell out of fashion. I don't really know why. Because 4 Stalkers is the magic number to one-shot probes. And now you can just get 1 more, blink to the corner, and recall out. Then it's the right way to do it. Is he going to lose the Stalker? Nope. Saves all 4. It's hard to get ahead when you're both doing the same thing. Astrea just found a way. I love the 4-Stalker hit squad, man.
Who was the first player you saw doing that?
That's a really good... I think you have to go back a long time for that, man.
Do you know who I'm going to say? Sase was the first player I saw doing that.
Oh, really?
I thought it was so damn cool when I saw that, and I was like, that is perfect. But also like a Liquid Hero back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, those were the glory days of the 4-Stalker hit squad. Now, Neeb is going to move out. This is that move out that I was talking about before, where it's like we've got sentries and stalkers and we're going to move out. Neeb doesn't have a pylon or a gateway nearby, so it feels so hard to get a lot done here. But Neeb is definitely getting the better hand of this fight. But the thing is, can he get home? Because you're kind of stuck here, right? Like, how are you supposed to get home? He's trading real well, though. I gotta say, Neeb did as well as he possibly could have there. But he is going to end up losing, 3 stalkers on the retreat.
That focus fire by Astrea, I mean, they're both micro really damn good, but you're right. Like, the fact that Neeb was going up against it like he did and managed to get the trades that he did as well without having, like, instant reinforcements, well played by Neeb.
Well, Astrea has invested in charge immediately. It's about to finish up. Neeb hasn't even started charge yet. Gateways, it's 4 against 4. Neeb did fire up +2 a bit before Astrea. I'm actually surprised that Astrea defensively blinked there. If you warp in 4 Zealots with charge here, that'd honestly be very nice. Neeb doesn't even have charge. I can also understand that you want to go for more Stalkers because you don't want to give your opponent the potential to out-micro you. The fact that Astrea has this Prism here, I feel like he can really apply some serious pressure.
Certainly can. I mean, they're both so neck and neck, like 58 probes, 14 stalkers for Neeb against the 11, and Neeb's warping into more. Astrea has to be so damn careful because he is massively outnumbered here now.
Yep, but that's also because he hasn't warped in yet. Now he's going to warp in Zealots. He did pick up the Observer of Neeb, so Neeb doesn't really know that this is happening. Neeb has still not started charge. I don't know if that's on purpose or if it's a mistake. I know obviously that Mana had slow Zealots for a long time. There is charge. He's going to chrono boost it immediately, and it smells like a mistake to me.
Neeb was pretty harshly supply blocked here, which is, you know, it definitely bites a little bit. Astrea is just on his side of the map, being pretty chill, actually, all things considered. And this game, it goes on. Neither one of them was able to get too much done, all things said and done. Just a cool PvP.
I think that Neeb dodged a little bit of a bullet there. Now, of course, he did have even Stalker numbers and he had batteries to fall back on, but Maybe there was some potential for Astrea. If Astrea would have built his gates a bit earlier, or he would have really chrono boosted the hell out of 8 gateways, I actually think it would have been pretty hard to stabilize if these zealots with charge are in overwhelming numbers. Because even if you kill them, and the next wave just shows up, and the next wave, and you can never really get on top of the stalkers of your opponent. But perhaps fortunately for all of us, that did not happen. Besides Astrea, I'm sure that he wouldn't have minded a quick W there, and this game will go on instead.
Certainly will. And the Zealots of Astrea that were kind of checking out which base was Neeb potentially going to take. Both of them get a probe kill. Definitely not bad for him. Now that warp prism, whereabouts? Still sat at the bottom of the map. Does Neeb know about it?
I think he kind of knows, but he can't do much about it. Ooh, one pylon powering 3 gateways there. I would actually like slice up the probes, and the moment that the probes get pulled, I would target that pylon.
It'd be a good pylon to target. And if he goes for this one, which is powering the robo, so I suppose that could be a decent one as well.
And the one downside of that one is that you only have 2 zealots attacking it, though. The other pylon, you would have had 3 zealots. 2 zealots is enough. On powers 1 gate and a robo.
Astrea does start up his +3 while being on the aggressive, which, you know, that's money that isn't coming into effect just yet. Neeb's army is definitely a scary one. What's the Archon count? 2 apiece. Neeb has more zealots, more stalkers, though.
Yeah, Astrea had more money, so he just wiped in a whole bunch. He still has that prism. Astrea's going up to 4 bases. Neeb is... man, this is a lot of zealots, by the way. We have 57 zealots on the map at this point. Well, we're going to make that a little more. Make that 64 zealots at this point. Neeb has 36. Astrea has 28. It's a lot of zealots, man.
It's a lot of zealots, and Neeb hasn't probed up for a while, man. Like, he is so content on just going. Astrea's supply blocked, as is Neeb to some extent, but pylon is just finishing in. This is going to be close, man. This is going to be real close between them.
4 Archons should be better, though. Like, I have a hard time believing that you can really lose a fight against 30 plus zealots when you've got 4 Archons and your opponent only has 2. Perhaps Neeb feels the same way, and that's why he immediately drops the Robo Bay in the second Robo. Like, if I'm Astrea, I'd be like, hey, if I max out against his army, it's going to be really good against me, because this man is so heavy on the zealots.
Look at what Neeb's doing behind us, by the way. He's going for a second Robo and a Robo Bay. So I think he's actually analyzed the situation well. Now it's about buying time to get that happening.
I just said it.
Oh, you did? My bad. I'm
Okay,
pulling
man.
a taste. I'm pulling a tasteless over here. I was in the groove, you know. I was just loving everything that Neeb was doing. And honestly, wait, okay. How do you feel about Astrea doing the same thing back? Do you think that's how this game has to go?
I don't hate it, but I would still like to see Astrea push his luck a little bit, because at this point, his army is better. Now, the more time that goes by, the more likely it is that Neeb catches up in the Archon count. I understand that attacking into this or into batteries is a bit scary, but I feel that Astrea really could have realized that his army was just straight up more powerful. Archons, they make all the difference in the world. Now we may have missed our window a little bit. There is going to be a scout there of Astrea with 1 zealot in the natural, where he will see the Robo, he will see it being chrono boosted, or at least if Neeb would chrono boost it, but now he spots the disruptor popping as well, and that's obviously the biggest tell of them all. If it wasn't for the fact there was a Robo Bay there, so I don't hate it, man, but I feel that Astrea maybe could have pushed a little bit harder there when he simply had the better army.
Yeah, he's not fallen too far behind in the disruptors. I mean, he's just about to have his number 1 and 2 pop. It's just, yeah, bringing it to a game where you have to go into Disruptor Wars. I mean, you can lose Disruptor Wars even when you're super far ahead. Never mind when it's kind of close with Neeb. Oh, bit of friendly fire there.
Yeah, that's going to happen, especially when you have this many zealots. The second shot is a little bit better for Neeb. Astrea standing up a little run by. It's only 4 zealots, but 4 zealots into an exposed natural. There is a disrupted there. That's going to be hard. Oh, wow, he didn't even kill the probe. Perfect cleanup.
I was very worried for those probes. They were like running right into that disruption shot. But yeah, we're getting into a very, very intense part. I mean, this whole game's been pretty intense, but this particular one, I know you said like it felt kind of bad for Astrea, but this is the kind of game I wanted tonight, Kev.
Yep, and this is where you can obviously make the difference if you are the better player. But I've always kind of liked Neeb in Disruptor Wars. I think it's very, very hard to outplay Mr. Sunderhaft in these kinds of PvP. I actually think that at this point, when you have 4 bases up and running, you want to get Observer speed. Oh, a couple of Novas connecting. It is pretty much impossible to keep your Archons alive. I really think that Observer Speed is the most important upgrade you can get now.
You know, Neeb pounces like a tiger, man. Like some of his Blink Stalker movement and the disruptors, you are right. I remember when he kind of, I don't want to say invented this style, but definitely went to the big stage and was the best in the world at it. And that is a big army, and Astrea is very out of position against it.
Yeah, battery overcharge is good, but 4 Zealots is simply not enough to deal with 25 Zealots and 4 Archons. And these armies are gonna roam around the map. Astrea is building 2 observers at a time. Astrea's army has not grown actually in quite some time. He's going to wipe in a bunch of Stalkers. His Disruptors. No! Astrea is going to lose a lot of his Disruptors, and that is bad Niels Bear. Neeb is winning on the left, on the right. Oh my goodness. Alex is completely turning this around. Astrea's supply is plummeting, and this game may very well end here.
I can't believe it, man. From 2-0 looking strong as hell. Here, oh, Neeb just blew himself up, but doesn't matter. He's just making fireworks for us, is Neeb.
And this one is over. What? That you can win a fight, or you can absolutely smash a fight. And Neeb smashed that fight everywhere. The Zealots, the Archons, the Disruptors on the right side. Astrea was out of position. Neeb saw an opportunity.